Hello, 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 hello.
And I'm also here. Hello.
Kind of
Wait,
funny.
what?
Well, there we go. No, I think I wasn't coming through. I think you two were. Ah, that's me. See, live
Oh,
shows. There we go. Luckily, nobody's watching this. Anyway, here we are. We're three transgender humans combining science, spirituality, and lived experience, all with the purpose of showing that we have much more in common than what separates us. All right, so today's live stream, we wanted to talk about misgendering. Our friend Morgan, our good friend Morgan, who also made this little paw print right there for me.
cute.
Um, yeah, with like a
Oh,
laser and
cool.
wood. It's really cool. It's super
Oh,
neat.
how cute. Super
Yeah,
cute.
it's
Huh.
really neat. So she asked us to talk about how to deal with misgendering. So how to deal with the how triggered we get when being misgendered. So we're going to talk about that. We also want to talk about transmisogyny, and Jasmine's got some thoughts around
Both
that.
of them.
Both of them we can try if we can get there.
Oh, God.
We'll see what happens. But we're going to ask each other loads of questions, and we're actually starting a slightly different format where the three of us are going to talk without like looking at comments for the moment, so that we can have a good conversation, and then we'll bring comments in maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes in. We'll see how that works. So, but we'd love to hear your comments in the chat box there. Let's make it interactive. And of course, if you're catching this on replay, leave a comment in the comment section below. All right. What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with transmisogyny then, or do you want to do
We'll start with
the
unboxing.
boxing? Oh, right.
Oh,
We also Lino wants to know how your surgery went. I don't know why I had to ask that for you,
Yeah.
Lino.
yeah, while you unbox things, I guess. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
How are
want to
you
see
how are
my
you healing
TV so
now?
I can talk about that while people are showing up and while we're getting organized.
Well, people are showing up. For those that aren't aware, what kind of surgery did you have a few months ago?
I had an orchiectomy and it was how long ago now? Like, I had it on, oh, it's the 20th today. I had it on the 19th of December.
Okay.
Okay, for like
Yeah, I
five
was
months
thinking it
Well,
was
ago.
it's my
4 or 5
five
months.
months
Yeah.
today.
About
Yeah,
five
that's
months
pretty
ago. Wow,
sweet.
well, congratulations on the 19th. So,
Thank
for
you.
those
Wow.
that don't know, what kind of surgery is that?
It's like a bophorectomy.
All right. Well,
Both
that
of
really
both of
clears
what?
it up.
Well, I got rid of both of these nuts.
Ah, these nuts. So how you doing? I mean, it's been 5 months. I mean, I guess I was just really curious to see how you're healing physically, mentally,
I can
emotionally.
exfoliate the skin in the shower
What's
with
that?
an
Mm-hmm.
exfoliating glove and it doesn't hurt. So, pain wise, so much better. There's
Oh,
not
good.
that tenderness or uncomfortableness there anymore.
Uh-huh.
So,
Do
that
you
feels really good.
Were you usually exfoliating that area? Cause
I mean, I would use an exfoliating glove gently in the area. Yeah.
okay, well, gently. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not like scrubbing the skin off.
I I don't like steel wool or something. You've got some
Oh God.
sandpaper.
Oh,
Wool,
that's awful.
bit of vinegar, bit of bicarb soda. No, I'm
Oh
just
goodness.
kidding.
Or
No.
belt sander. I don't know.
And so you're health center. Holy crap. So
Oh,
you're less sensitive. What'd you get? What is that?
it's a water filtration thing. So
That's pretty
probably one of
awesome.
the least exciting things I've gotten recently. It's like, yeah, I don't have to get boxed water.
Possibly.
I
I
think that's
was
great.
I was
Um,
kind of hoping it was going to be like some sort of intimate toy. That was my
Or a
hope
new
for it.
exfoliator.
A belt
nice.
sander.
One with the
Oh
surgery
goodness.
that I want to mention
Yeah.
is that, oh,
Oh,
okay,
oh,
silk bonnets to sleep in to protect hair a bit more. I've
Nice.
that's
got three of
lovely.
them because why not? So obviously one for me, the pink, of course, one for winter, and then a spare one.
Nice.
Sure. In case you have a
Okay.
sleepover.
Thanks for coming to my unboxing video, everyone. We'll see you next week. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, so you're less sensitive, which is good, and
Yeah,
you're
I've been nervous to talk about some aspects because I know that transphobe people are going to find anything that they can to say, oh, this person regrets the surgery, yada yada, which I don't, for the record. But there's some things that I didn't expect, like my hormones went bonkers for the first little while. I think they're starting to calm down now, like it's settling out, balancing. But I got a bunch of androgenic effects for at least 3 months that I really didn't expect.
No, that is the weirdest. Because you had
Mm.
why
your
did that
little
happen?
yeah. Do you know?
Well, apparently, when you get rid of the shesticles, your body can sometimes go into overdrive and go, whoa, those things that were there that were creating this isn't there anymore. And it starts to overcompensate in other areas. And so apparently it can put the pituitary gland into overdrive, producing
Hmm.
excess testosterone. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened, but even I got my DHT tested. I don't know what that stands for, but it's like a more potent form of testosterone.
I think that's a dihydrotestosterone.
Thank you,
Testosterone.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
Excellent. Love your work.
I'll be here all week.
But that was in normal levels. My testosterone was in normal levels. And yet I'm growing more body hair. I, what else was like acne, getting acne popping up more.
Yeah.
Um, the other one's not very PG to share. How do I share that in a
Which
PG
was
way?
well, so I was hoping that the what you were going to unbox was some sort of intimate toy. And maybe you could just say this was one of those things that might have helped with one of those with one of those side effects.
Yeah, that's a thing. Though that definitely died down quicker than the other things.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I'm hoping that it's balancing out now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was very much unexpected.
Yeah, that makes
Oh yeah.
sense. I mean, you take away
And
body
very
organs, some organs.
dysphoric.
What's that?
It was very dysphoric for a bit there
Can
because
imagine.
it's things that I haven't had apart from having a system that was dominated by testosterone. So I'm
Mm.
like, I was expecting the opposite. And I'm like, what the fuck
Yeah. Yeah.
is
And
going on?
you had stopped your androgen blocker, right? The
Yeah.
anti-androgen. I'm forgetting what you were on, Cipro or is that right?
Yeah, I was on time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I wonder if it was really just that, because I mean, the idea of the androgen blocker is that it prevents androgen. It doesn't prevent androgen production, but rather its absorption and
Mm,
utilization. So I wonder if that was really all that because I know you said you wanted to go back on it, and I said,
mm.
wait, why? You're not making it, but I guess I understand. I'm thinking about that now and going, oh, okay, you made sense.
Yeah.
So
So will you get back
Yeah.
on the androgen blocker now?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's been 5 months now. My levels, at least in my blood, are level. They're
Okay.
kind of where they should be. So I don't know if I'm still, I don't understand how I'm still getting the effects.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Mm,
I agree.
really strange.
That is
But also,
strange.
bodies are really strange, and we understand a very small percentage of how we work. So, yes,
And
that's.
Mathisa, did you go to similar through anything similar?
No, I didn't. That's why I'm really sort of fascinated by this because I mean, after my surgery, like everything I had just plummeted. Everything vaguely masculine plummeted. So I don't know. That is strange. I haven't heard of it before, but I'm obviously not an endocrinologist, so
Sure.
you know.
Well, Jasmine, what does your thanks for sharing, Amethyst. Jasmine, what does your endocrinologist say about that?
Well, basically, what I've said, like, I can only assume that the pituitary gland went into overdrive for a little while, trying to compensate, and then you need to give it a bit of time to balance out. And we'll test it again in a few months and see how you're going. Tested it,
Yeah.
fine. And the things are still happening. So she's kind of unsure.
Yeah, but it does make sense though, your hypothesis.
Mm,
It does make
yeah.
sense.
Well, I mean, think about there's plenty of like cis women or people born with ovaries who have too much testosterone,
Mm-hmm.
PCOS or any other number of hormonal concerns that pop up.
Right.
My mum had more facial hair than I ever did, like even before I got laser.
Wow.
She had more facial hair than me.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, she polycystic ovarian syndrome,
Yeah.
which, by the way, is apparently an intersex condition, which I didn't recognize for a while.
That can develop too. That's how do I want to say that? It's like it can be latent, not something that you
Mm,
express until later on. I have a friend who I don't know, was 22, 23, and it wasn't
yeah.
until after she had a kid that it expressed. And that may be super typical. And again, not that kind of doctor, but I guess from what I understand, you have to sort of jumpstart it in some way.
Mm,
And it could be
mm.
because of because actually, when I think about it too, my friend had a kid who was assigned male at birth. So I wonder if it has to do with the SRY protein that would have irritated your mother to make testosterone to result in you assigned male at birth. And I wonder if maybe just somehow that changes something. There's some sort of an epigenetic crazy jamming thing. I'm
So
sorry, I get
basically,
all
my body
technical
hates
with.
me.
No, no. I was talking about PCOS, but
Oh,
maybe your
right.
mother's
Okay.
body hated you. That's somebody probably hates you, but it doesn't have to be you, just you.
I mean, I know for a fact a lot of people hate me
Right,
because I exist.
right. Let's. Why don't we segue into that? Actually,
Hmm.
one of the things that I know, I kicked something and I didn't know what the hell it was. One of the things that I know Morgan had brought up was the misgendering, but I know that sometimes it's purposeful, right? I mean, like if somebody, when I was still transitioning, if somebody went, hello, sir, sort of stammered, I was like, I
Hmm.
get it, like I get it. But then you get people who, like, I mean, just yesterday when I was streaming on TikTok, I had 3 or 4 people who were like, hello, sir. And I'm like, you think that hurts, but it doesn't, Not me, but I know that there are people when it happens purposely that it kills them. So, it's really tough for them to get through that. I
Before
mean,
we move on, can we
yeah,
just like uncover what is misgendering? Just for
Ooh,
anyone watching who doesn't
that's
know
a
what
good
that
yeah.
means.
point. Yeah,
Yeah, let's
well, go at
let's do
it.
it.
Go at it.
We should probably start there. So misgendering basically just means using a pronoun or a title that does not correspond with the person who you're saying it to. So if somebody said sir to me, or if they said he or him pronouns towards me, that would be misgendering. So that can happen. Like I said, it can be just by accident. Someone actually doesn't know and they stammer and go, oh, he,
Right.
her, I mean, blah, blah, blah. Or it can happen maliciously, where someone is intending to do it because they want to get a reaction out of you or harm you in some way.
Because they hate you. It's a hate and discrimination tactic. Don't sugarcoat it. I mean, I think that's the case. I mean, I say we don't sugarcoat
I
it.
mean, maybe they're just bored and they're doing it to get a kick out of someone so that they feel, well, who knows? But anyway, Amethyst, go on with what you were saying.
Actually, I think that was about it. I was going to say, I mean, like, it. When people did it innocently, I thought, okay, that's cool, you know, because I had some people, you know, who would, like, I still have a friend who will go, I don't know, man, I mean, girl. And I'm like, this is your mode of speech. Like, I get it, you're not misgendering me. So there's you know, there's innocence, and then there's people coming into your live stream and you know, deciding that they need to make you feel bad about yourself. So,
Even in the innocence, so as you're saying that, sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I'm finished. I was actually going to try to pass off because I was going to say, I mean,
Lino, go.
No, I was thinking that I've thank you. I was thinking that there's times where like I've been that way with trans people and
mm-hmm.
or people that go by they them, and just because it was, and I've had to change my vocabulary and the way that I speak to be a little bit more compassionate, empathetic. But I used to be like, "Hey, dude, what's up?" or "Hey, man," to men or women. And I realized that, I mean,
Right.
no, I'm not a man, they would say, or I'm not woman or a man. Can you just not use? And I'd be like, whoa, whoa. But then I was like, okay, but that's the reality of the society now. And so
Mm-hmm.
if I need to change it for people to feel a little more comfortable, and that's what makes them feel comfortable, I'll do it. But then once in a while it still slips. Like I taught this weekend, and I remember once saying I slipped, and I was like, hey guys, what do you think? And in my head I was like, there's more women here that go by she than two men. So and I had to like, don't ever say that again, keep lecturing. So it's like I even have to come back. I even during lecture and while I'm doing stuff, I'm catching myself and helping and fixing it. And just, but I'm used to saying, hey guys, what's up? Even as when I was a little girl, hey guys, to the girls. So it's like, I mean, it was just part of the way it's part of my lingo, part of like code switching, being cool and stuff. But now it's just not so cool anymore because of the diversity.
Yeah. When it when I think it is difficult, because I've known several people who, well, I guess I still know them, but I've known people who for whatever reason have not started transition and don't really intend to. They want to use she her pronouns, but I'm looking at somebody who is distinctly masculine, who's gone through 50 years worth of testosterone therapy, natural testosterone therapy, as it were. So I think that's those are the places where I struggle. They, them, I'm getting better with. I want to call you whatever you want to be called. And at the same time, yeah, it's difficult, to try to remember these when there aren't visual cues, I think is where I'd want to leave it.
Yeah, it's challenging.
You know what? This kind of does touch on the trans misogyny that we were talking about a little bit before,
I said it did.
because why is it that in our society, guys, man, dude, like all of that kind of stuff is considered gender neutral by the majority of the population?
Yeah.
Yes.
And yet, girl, cis, queen, or like whatever is not.
Speaking
Not
of that,
even
something
close.
I don't know about what it's like in Australia, or I don't know if this is just a California thing, but kids here, kids meaning like ages 5 and 18, boys or girls, their thing is bro. They say bro to everything, bro. Even to their mom, bro. I'm like, wow. I just what? Everything starts with bro. Like, yeah, and yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but it's along these lines.
Actually, I overheard that. There's a couple of teenage girls on the train the other day, and they were bro every bloody second word. Like,
Yeah.
bro, have you seen this Snapchat?
Yeah.
Bro. Like,
But it is back to being misogynistic. They're not even realizing it, you know. But that's like a thing to say now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
interesting. Like why bro, not sis?
Mm,
Hey
it's a
sister,
good
hey
question.
sis, what's up? You know, it's all
Right.
bro. You know, so it's like whoa, you know, okay,
My
don't
my
yeah.
call me
kid,
bro.
yeah, my kid did that to me once. My kid goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, bro, such and such." No, what? So I said, "Don't call me bro, man." And then our non-binary kid goes, "Yeah, don't call me man." Then, and I went, "Okay, touche, got me there."
Yeah, right.
Right?
Don't call me bro, dude. Don't call me dude, buddy.
Yeah, right.
So what
It
was?
depends partially on the time period and what's cool at the time, yada yada.
Yeah,
If I go back to my old YouTube videos, every single video, hey guys, it's Jasmine, constantly.
right.
And I still struggle to not do that. I still have to like you, Lino, I have to consciously go like, oh, folks, like consciously pick something else.
I
But for me
recommend, if I may,
personally,
I
I don't
recommend
mind it
using
at
kitty
all.
cats. Can you just do that, kitty cats? Gender
Oh
neutral.
my
Why not
gosh.
pussycats? Oh,
Because that's not gender neutral.
Goodness me.
I stopped for a minute.
My friend, what's.
Oh
Yeah, the
goodness.
things that are considered gender neutral are typically mask coded, whereas the things
Yeah,
that are considered not gender neutral are all feminine. And
right.
if you go up to someone like a cis het guy and you go, oh, hey girl, how's your weekend? They'd be like, "Ugh," and
Right.
freak out.
Right.
But it's totally fine for them to go and be like, oh, hey dude, how's your weekend? And that's fine. Why?
Yeah, why, right?
It's a good
That's
question.
where I that broader conversation of misogyny comes in, where it's like, why are feminine coded things considered bad or wrong or weird? Why is that?
Do, why do you think it's being perceived as wrong or weird?
Well, that is the question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as wrong anyway. Because honestly, like if I walked up to some cishet man and said, "Hey, girl, what's going on?" I mean, like I think if that person were just kind of rolling with the punches, I think that person would just go, "I'm all right, yeah, I'm okay. How about you, sis?" Or whatever it was I just said. I don't know why. I guess because you want to relate this to misogyny, that in some way, and I get where you're going, but that's why I wanted to ask. I mean, is it wrong or is it unfamiliar?
I think it's
Yeah,
unfamiliar.
I mean, definitely unfamiliar,
But something else I was
but it,
thinking when you're saying this is like
Yeah,
why do so many of us, and I'm including myself
mm,
and a lot of people I know, when we see a very feminine gay presenting man or a man that's confidently gay and open, why is it okay to be like girl to them? I
right.
mean, so I do it. I'll be like girl, you know, so why then? I don't know. Maybe, and why do we assume that that's okay with them too? Did they say it's okay to say that to them?
Right.
is it misgendering?
Or is it misgendering? Yeah.
I wonder. It's a good
I gotta
question.
say, most of the time they love it, but you know, they'll be like, "Girl," you know, they come back all excited, you know. But for the most part, I mean, but why is that okay then? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's a good question. Can I
Yeah,
You
actually?
know what? I think for people who own their own femininity, it's not seen as an insult. For people who don't
Right.
own their femininity, it's seen as an insult. Like, for example, women growing up, like, there's no problems with being a tomboy, right? You can dress in a more masculine kind of way and have a bit more dude bro kind of energy about you, and that's seen totally fine. Like, oh yeah, she's a bit of a tomboy. But is there even a is there an opposite to that? Like, I
Tom
don't even
girl.
have language. I
You mean
don't
like
think
Tom girl?
so.
Oh,
No, be like a
just
Mary
Tom
boy,
girl.
Nancy boy, maybe. I don't.
Canary boy.
No,
all of the things
Mary
that
boy.
we
Yeah.
would say, like, would be insults.
Hmm.
They would be, yeah.
Tomboy isn't an insult, but anything that we would say, like a guy who embraces femininity,
It
what they're a sissy, they're a pansy, they're like, it's all insults.
Though, I would take, I mean, I'm not even all that old, really, right? I mean, I'm in my 50s. And when I was growing up, it's like tomboy had some pejorative characteristics. And it was not necessarily kind to call somebody a tomboy. I mean, if you look at, trying to think of some of the stories, like I want to say like Mark Twain type things. If you had somebody who was a tomboy, and I can't actually think of anybody. What are those stories? There's some story I'm thinking of somebody who would be a contemporary of like Mark Twain. So, written in the 1800s. It would have been pejorative to say, "Oh, she's a bit of a tomboy." You would say it behind your hand, "Oh, she's a bit of a tomboy." Probably should have done that the other way toward the mic, but I don't podcast often, so.
Yes, you do.
Oh goodness.
So anyway, I mean, even when I was growing up, I don't think that was it wasn't a kind phrase, a kind word. So my thought, and I mean, actually, this is I've been really wanting to bring in this question because Morgan did make the point, like Sarah McBride. We're familiar with who Sarah McBride is?
Yeah.
Okay, so a representative from Vermont in the U.S. House of Representatives right now. She is going to committees, and there was that one clip of this. They went kind of viral of the guy saying "Mr. McBride" from Vermont, and then she goes, "Thank you, Madam Chair," and you can barely hear this. She does say that. She says, "Thank you, Madam Chair." So Morgan's question, which is a good one, that says, is it okay for a trans person to do it back to make a point? I want to
Do
go
it
around
back,
the room.
meaning misgender them.
Yes. Well, right. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said, Madam Chairman,
Yeah, I mean, I
was
would say no,
Yeah.
why?
because I don't think that is necessary to make that point. I think everyone in that room understood why that was an issue straight away without her having to do that. It wasn't a demonstrative thing or demonstrative. It was a little jab back, which I understand. And I don't know that I wouldn't do it myself in her situation. But I don't think that we should be misgendering cis people back.
Do you have a thought on that, Lino?
I agree. I mean, I agree because I mean, you can't, fight fire with fire. Just as Martin Luther King says, you always have to come back with love. And so, uh, I agree. I agree. That's my personal motto. But also, people
Mm-hmm.
have their own journeys in life and their own lessons to learn and their own soul growth and development. So if they feel a need that they have to do that, there's going to be some repercussions because there's a law of karma. Something else is going to hit them right back, or someone else is going to misgender them maybe right afterwards or a week later. And then how are they going to handle it now? Everything is to make us all a better person, no matter what comes at us. So it's really up to the individual how they want to handle it. But me personally, I wouldn't attack them back.
All right. Now that
Then
you've both
what
said that.
about the
Oh,
people? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Amethyst.
no, go. We'll finish up your thought.
Oh, I was going to say, what about the people who feel like they should hit back in those scenarios? There's people who feel like, well, if you're going to maliciously misgender me all the time, why shouldn't I stand up for myself? Why shouldn't I do that? Because in their view, like, we have the right to do that. If someone's being an asshole to us, why would we not have the right to, hit the ball back to them? And on some level, I agree with that. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you probably you wouldn't be in the wrong for hitting the ball back, is what I would say.
Yeah.
But in saying that, is that the kind of person that you want to be? Is that how you want to come across? Because if you just act with integrity within yourself and you choose to not acknowledge that or to move forward without hitting back at them, they're the asshole.
Yeah.
And they will look like the asshole and they'll probably feel like the asshole too, because you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to dignify that with a response moving forward. They're the ones being malicious.
Yes.
So I don't know. Yeah, from that perspective too.
I'm going to dissent at least a little bit here. There's a I believe very strongly that you should not use this. I'm going to go with an analogy here. You should never start a war. You should never initiate the use of physical force. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't punch somebody first. Don't push somebody first. Don't be that person. That said, when it occurs, you do have an obligation if you expect, if it's an unsafe situation, to use physical force back. Your country gets invaded, declare war and protect your citizens. In this case, when we're talking about misgendering, I think of there was another clip that happened that was in Wyoming, actually. Somebody called into it was like was it the state? I can't remember if it was the state government now or not, because I almost kind of think it was a city government, but called in and said, thank you for recognizing me, Madam Chairman. And the person goes, I'm a man. And she goes, okay, thank you, Madam Chairman. I really appreciate it, Madam Chairwoman, or whatever. And he goes, no. I use he, him pronouns. Like, I think he actually says that phrase. No, I use he, him pronouns. And she says, but you passed a law that said I cannot be compelled to use your preferred pronouns. So thank you, Madam Chairperson. I'm going to move on. And I actually appreciated that, because it's like, you passed this law because you want me to feel uncomfortable. And I think it's important to say, this is what you're doing to me. This is what it feels like.
That right there, that is a form of non-violent protesting. It's like, it's
Right.
malicious compliance.
Yeah.
You could think of it like that, I suppose. Malicious compliance.
Malicious compliance is not a bad thing.
No. No. Well, I mean, because it did take some... But I think in that regard, I think that's an excellent... what Sarah McBride did, I think, was appropriate. She said, okay, well, you want to make me uncomfortable by misgendering me, then I'll make you uncomfortable back by misgendering you, just so that you can see what it feels like and why you, as you've said, Jasmine, look like the asshole. I don't think the guy got it exactly until he got yelled at by a man. There's a little bit of an irony there, that the chairman was like, oh, I'm not going to listen to the transgender woman. But when a man yells at me, I'm going to rap my gavel and say, that's it. I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Oh my God, no one's listening to me. I feel so affirmed.
No. Sarah had to have done this. She must have been going, all right, so a man just ignored me, then a man stood up for me. There you go. She probably pulled out a fan or something, was like, oh, Rhett, you've made me feel so feminine. I'm such a woman now. Thank you, Rhett. Did you want to jump in on that, Jasmine? As long as I've got a character going.
Oh, goodness.
I don't have a character to hit back with at the moment. But
that's okay. So I think that was a good point. Bobby Bamlett also says the same. Says her male neighbor calls her sir. Why can't she just call him madam back? I think you should. And see if he goes, whoa, what? What are you even talking about? And then you go, that's what I feel every time you call me sir. It might be a teaching moment. Do you think?
I don't know. I think also safety has a lot to do with it. Like, where are you? What state are you in?
Well,
How aggressive are
right.
people? Is it a Republican state? Is it a red state? Is it a blue state? Are you in the
Yes.
U.S.? Like, where are you at? Really, just be careful because there are some angry people out there, and that's why it's always. I feel it's always best just to. You don't have to fight back because I mean, I mean, I'm just all for like new social change without people having to die for social change. You know, I think it's time for
Agreed.
for social change to be created based on love and
Yeah.
not having not out of fear and having to be like if I'll die for this I will. Like no, you don't have to die for this. This isn't, 1950 anymore. I just feel that there's different ways to come about this, and I think I mean if you're talking about Sarah McBride, I think that's great. That's what she felt, was she felt safe enough to say that, and that's great, and it made her feel good possibly, and that was her. There's nothing wrong with it. There's overall, I think safety is far the first foremost important thing, and also really come from a place in your heart that you feel is mostly true for yourself. If it's true for yourself to fight back, there could be some repercussions, and also it could be good or it could be bad. I mean, there's really no way of knowing, but whatever feels right to you.
I think it's a good point. Can I add a layer of,
A layer of goodness.
I don't even know, some layer of something? How about if I just add a layer and
Okay.
then you tell me what it
I
is?
love layers, especially in lasagna.
Yes, and parfait.
That sounds good.
Mm.
Love parfait. Love me some parfait. So here's my question. Oh, somebody's calling me on my phone. Hopefully you can't hear that.
We can.
So you can.
Yeah, it's okay though.
Hang on. Right. All right. So Morgan says. So Morgan asks. Here's the thing. What if it's you? What if it's like family members who do this? Because now it affects your actual sense of safety in your home, right? I mean,
Hmm.
if it's your family doing it and you're living there among them, it seems like there's when you get to that point, then it's like, well, I'm trying to maintain my own safety as well. So I'm Morgan in this case, but did that make sense? What if it's family,
I'm
people
just
you
wondering if
trust?
are they doing it maliciously, or are they doing it because, like, for example, I mean, I lived my life 34 years as a woman. I mean, I can't expect all my family members to just all of a sudden be he in just 10 years. They are now. I mean, I'm just, for the record, I'm he now. But let's say even just 5 years ago. I mean,
Sure.
it's only probably been a good 5 years that I don't get misgendered anymore. But even 5 years ago, a lot of family members would still say she or her,
Mm-hmm.
and I can feel intuitively that they weren't doing it on purpose, but it's because they knew me from birth. That's what they saw. I was feminine. My mom made me very feminine. All of a sudden, it's like it's challenging. And I think that as much as trans people, I'm not speaking for every single trans person, but for some of them, there could be some adamancy to like stop misgendering me, and it's like, well, being fully honest here, there's some compassion that we need for the other side too. It's not easy for them, and if you fully feel that your family has some type of love for you, I can't say that's true for everyone because it's not true. But if there is some love, it's not being done out of hate or aggression. It's simply because they were used to calling you that. It's not easy to change it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that some progress is better than no progress, and we can't expect them to do it all overnight, especially depending on how many years you had being that gender and being okay being called that opposite gender before. So I'm even challenged. Like for example, a professor at my school recently got married, and in my head, I still want to call them by their maiden name. I'm like, no, they're married now. They're married now. They're married. So even that, so I mean, it takes some time for us to be able to grasp even someone's name change, and now genders, they're in everything, and there's a gender for the planet, there's gender for Mother Nature, so it's like, hang on a
Sure.
minute, what there's been a change, it's called Father Nature now, hold on a minute. So it takes a minute, and so I think that if it's done maliciously, I'm not really sure what to say about that at the moment. If any of you can tap in, if a family member maliciously misgenders.
Yeah,
You
I've
look
got a
like you
couple of
have a
things to
thought.
say on that.
Yeah, there you go. Good.
Control what you can control is what it all comes down to. It's like what is within your influence. You're not going to be able to change someone else. They have to go through their own journey and come to their own level of acceptance. You can't do that for them. So if you find it's been years and you're living in a household where you're being consistently misgendered, even though you're correcting and calling it out when it happens, then what's the best thing for your own mental health in that point? Is it to stay there? Is it to go quiet and to not correct anymore? Or is it to find some way to move out? I know that that can sometimes be the trickiest situation because now I have to find the money to be able to live somewhere else and like work out all the logistics of that. But at the end of the day, I think anything is worth protecting your own mental health. And if it is genuinely affecting your mental health, then that is what I'd suggest doing.
Yeah,
Find a way to change your circumstances because that's what's within your influence. The
I
other
love
thing that I
that.
want to mention on the note of what Lino said is that sometimes your gender as a trans person can be wrapped up in your, especially parents' identity on some level. Like you see,
Yeah.
people will literally identify, like, oh, I'm a boy mom, I'm a girl mom, or blah, blah. Like it's literally an identity that people take on. And so coming out, oftentimes there's this perception of, well, it's harder for me. And look, I'm going to agree with that. As the trans person, it is harder for you most of the time. It's like, I've dealt with this all my life. This parent, it's not like a sudden thing. It's not like, oh, I'm just suddenly changing my gender and like I've just thought about this since last week. No, I've thought about this since I was in kindergarten. But so, from that perspective, it makes sense why we can often be very impatient with that. And it's like, I want you to start gendering me correctly straight away. And if you don't, then you're being an asshole and you're being malicious and not trying hard enough. Like, that's often where we come across. And acknowledging that there is some grief on the part of the cis person as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes trans people don't want to acknowledge that. They feel like, well, because it's harder for me in this situation, then I don't care. Like, you deal with that thing. But I think we should approach that with compassion. We should understand that sometimes it is wrapped up in their identity. Sometimes there is a bit of grief of the person who they thought you were to who you actually are.
Hmm.
Obviously, that's not something as a trans person that we want to pile on top of what we're already going through,
No.
but it's a fact of the matter. I think it is just a fact of how things go, and we should have compassion for that as well. I don't know, Amethyst, do you look like you have thoughts?
I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, and I think there's a lot to that. At what point does compassion for somebody else become self-defeating?
Mm.
There was one more question that I wanted to go in the opposite order that Morgan has asked these. Well, not completely opposite, but because the first question she put up was, is there anything we can do to make it hurt less?
Mm.
You mentioned, do we move out? But I guess that's where I go, well, when you're having compassion at the same time you're hurting.
Yeah.
And it's easy to see that as somebody hurting you. And so it can become self-defeating, in my opinion. At some point you go, well, why do I have to keep on hurting? Why do I have to keep on being compassionate? Why can't I go to my parent or my siblings or whoever it is? I don't even care. My neighbor, Bobby, and say, stop it. I'm finished. So I guess
And
that's,
that's same
that's
on the same lines as the clapping back to misgendering and stuff, like, or people being hateful towards you. It's on that same sort of line, right?
I mean, this is setting boundaries. I think at some point
Yeah.
it's setting boundaries. The example that at least have from my own life, I mean, I've had people who struggle to use my name. And finally I just said, okay, I'm just not going to, then I won't talk to you. I don't want you to avoid the name that I took, my legal name. Like I'm not going to let you avoid my legal name. I just won't talk to you. I don't know if that was the best. I don't know if it was the best move or not. I mean, I sacrificed a relationship for my own comfort, really. And I guess maybe that's my question: is at what point do we get to stop being to at what point is compassion self-defeating and we go, okay, no more, no mas.
Well,
Do you see I'm
I feel
bilingual? So
I feel that it becomes self-defeating when you are people pleasing. So when it starts to feel more like you're doing it just to please them and you're quieting down completely, that is when you do need to have a boundary. That is when you probably need to move out and do something about
okay.
it. But also, you can still have compassion and move out and do everything still. You can still carry that compassionate sleeve.
How,
But you still need to keep loving yourself. I say that anything that hurts more and keeps hurting is an invitation to keep loving yourself and keep going
mm,
inward. I mean, if it hurts, what feels good for you? What can you do for yourself? What do
mm.
you like to do? What brings you joy? What motivates you? Go do more of that. Go do more of that, and you will be less attentive to the things that are bringing you pain.
Can I ask you? This is a real question too, because I'm curious as well. I'm
Sure.
not good at this. How do you set boundaries compassionately? Like let's say you have a parent or something who fails to use let's say I had my father. Since he's gone, it's easy to use him. What if he always referred to me as he? At what point do I go, okay, I understand this is difficult for you and I'm trying to have compassion, but do that again and I swear I'm going to tear one of your eyes out of the sockets. Like, how do you do that compassion? I don't really say that. I think I told him I was going to punch him through a wall. I think it's totally different. But how do you do it
Well,
compassionately?
it's an interesting question because coming from a very diverse background myself, being Latino, I mean, because we're multicultural over here. So, and a lot of it, even there's cultures that don't speak to each other. There's no
Sure.
communication. They just react with action. So I can't give you a concrete answer because the cultures are so diverse and there's the way that families communicate differ and somebody's
Yeah.
people can be, so, but I mean, personally, for your question, as far as how would you, when they keep misgendering you and when do you become finally, when is being compassionate too compassionate, correct? Is that pretty much your question?
I think so, yeah. I mean, really, it was more the boundaries. How do you maintain, how can you be both compassionate and maintain adequate boundaries for your safety?
Basically what I just basically said earlier. Just go back
Mm,
to yourself and just keep doing you, keep filling up your own cup. Because if you're not filling up your own cup, it's gonna keep wasting. Because even if you're too compassionate, you're not compassionate for yourself. Because you have to have a bit of both, compassion for them and compassion for you.
okay,
And
good
if
point.
you just keep filling your cup, there's not going to be much left in there for you to fill for yourself. So just keep going in and discovering why something maybe hurts you so much. There's a lesson there. Something that keeps hurting so much, it's a lesson, and almost always it's a lesson of self-love. So what can you do to make yourself feel good at the moment? And I don't mean unhealthy behaviors like go eat a gallon of ice cream. I mean, go for a walk with nature, get into a hobby, something that brings you something that else is going to fill you up because at that time your energy is being depleted. If your
Mm,
energy keeps being depleted, you're going to keep getting on that energetic frequency of they are not they are not gendering me correctly. What does that mean? Well, perhaps that means I am not worthy. Perhaps that means I am not good enough. Perhaps that means I am not loved. I mean, if you really look at the reasoning why it bothers us so much, there's some really deep down, there's some core beliefs behind that are really, really, it can bring you down. So bring back those core beliefs. What can you do to make yourself feel the opposite of the way those things are making you feel?
How do you do that? You're the psychologist. I mean, how do you? I'm like, how do you do that? I mean, because it's something I think all of us struggle with, and I don't even mean
Yeah. So a
transgender
lot of it,
people.
I mean, a lot of it would be experimental, and you give yourself
Yeah.
some behavioral assignments. So, for example, let's say that Jasmine says, you know what, I really want to get to know how to write some poetry. You know, you've inspired me, thank you. And writing poetry is giving me a glimpse into something, a skill that I may potentially have that I didn't know that I had. So get into it. What does it take to be a poet? Read other people's poetry. Try experimenting. Like actually get into the zone of your own zone. And these are tiny little snippets of things that can help you more develop yourself in becoming more wholesome, well-rounded, rather than obsessive and honing in on one thing. Because the thing that you obsess about and you hone in on, you're going to get more of it. That again is a universal law. Just as gravity is, just as light is, it's a universal law that the thing that you think about, you're going to bring more about.
What do you think about hypnosis? Just out of dumb
Well,
curiosity.
hypnosis really depends because I mean it depends on who the person is doing the hypnotic treatment because there have been many hypnotists that are not really well trained that can use it to manipulate people. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah, it's really a tricky thing, making sure that somebody is well trained and they're doing it to bring up the best part of yourself and not just bring out things that don't even need to be brought up.
Let's say it's like middle-aged purple-haired lady. What would you? I'm just
What
like
about
hypothetically.
hypothetically? I know I don't understand the question. Hypothetically, yeah,
No,
what about?
did you know that I was? Did you know that I'm taking a hypnosis course?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, there you go. That was the. It wasn't entirely an innocent question, but
So how did this conversation switch to hypnosis?
it didn't really. Well, I mean, because you're talking about, the main thing. I'm trying to remember how you put it, because you said it really well. That when you focus on the negatives, what that's going to do is bring more of it to you, right?
Sure. Sure.
And one of the things that I keep on hearing anyway in this instruction, in the hypnosis instruction, is that if we stop going down that path, our brains are really good at use it or lose it kind of thing. So when you don't use this one neural path that I got triggered during misgendering, and however you stop it from happening, sooner or later it stops feeling bad because you've lost that pattern. And I feel like that's along the lines of what you were trying to say. If you can go back to the core values and stop the triggering, stop the reason why you feel bad,
Yeah.
then that's the
Yeah.
way to get through it. Did I say?
That makes
Did I?
sense. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not saying that's the only way to get through it, but that's
Oh,
a
no,
way.
no, no, no.
It's definitely a way to get through it because then once you do that, you build a new neural pathway. You build a new
Yeah.
freeway.
Yeah. Right. Right. No, that was because for what it's worth, I believe is going to be one of the biggest. I don't know what I wanted to call it. I don't want to call it like a condition, but I think that would be some of the biggest work that I intended to do, because I want to work only with the queer community, primarily precisely for this reason, because we face this kind of truth, and it's not just transgender. It's anybody, gay, lesbian, bisexual, and really it's also anybody who just doesn't quite fit the cishet norms, right?
I truly
So
feel I truly feel 100% that if the world equally had a school about the laws of the universe, a lot of this stuff would be solved.
oh,
If
agreed.
everyone understood what energy is and what energy does and what energy creates, and if everyone really fully understood that we create our own reality, as painful as it is, whether we want it or not, if we truly understood how people would be in this earth school and understand something and elevate their consciousness and really
Yeah,
become a better version of themselves a little faster. But it's not that
I
easy.
agree.
And meanwhile, there's people stuck in this trauma, which in recreating trauma. Where every time that we come back and be like, well, they misgendered me, that's like trauma, trauma, trauma. Let me just keep creating this trauma for me because that's what's happening. And so, and at that moment, it can be very hard to even sit down and be like, hang on, something's just firing so fast. Let's see if we can stop it from firing so fast. Bring it down a little low, a little slower, get the anxiety, your cortisol levels back down, take some deep breaths, go into nature, and really start being in the present moment. And when people are more living in the present moment, you're not in trauma anymore.
You're not in a trauma response, yeah.
If you're not in a trauma response, you're not in a trauma.
Well, I mean, you can still certainly have suffered from trauma and be triggered into a trauma response again. But yeah, I mean, you've gotten through
But if
one.
you're fully in the
Itself
present
doesn't
moment,
exist in the present
what's that?
moment, though.
Exactly. There you go. That's what I was trying to say. If you're fully for reals in the present moment, if you're at a lake and you're sitting down staring at a duck at that current moment, you are not in trauma.
Well, I mean, I think Jasmine's point was well put. I mean, your conscious mind is what's in the present. And it's your conscious mind that ends up going through this trauma response, not your subconscious. Your subconscious is just replaying the past because that's what it's got is your experiences. So anyway, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying, it's, I don't know if it's a matter of fully being in the present so much as being able to address the patterns.
It's honestly, it's a bit of everything. It's a bit of all of it.
Right. I mean, it's true. You need to be in the present in order to address the patterns, etc. So, I mean,
right. But
it's a good
almost always
point.
you cannot address the pattern unless you become present. So it's like being present really is a lot. Almost always it's everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Do you notice that Jasmine looks like she's in you look like you're in a horror film with like a flashlight underneath your...
No.
I don't know. Do you have a light that's on you? There's like, like your face is really illuminated.
If I change that,
I don't
did
know.
that change?
No. I mean, you look beautiful.
That's
it's just, it looks like you really had a spotlight on your face. I was like, oh my gosh, you look like you're one of the girls dancing in like a goth band video.
No, it's just my Morticia Adams lighting.
Ooh, I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Morticia
It worked
Adams.
out. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I could put my light on, but I don't want to. I've been having consistent freaking headaches for ages. So
that's fine. Do what you're doing. I'm just gonna start referring to you as Lucretia, if that's okay.
I think that's misgendering. No, I'm kidding.
No, not at all. Lucretia
I don't know who Lucretia is.
What's that?
I don't know who Lucretia is.
Oh, there's a song by Sisters of Mercy called Lucretia, My Reflection. And the song is about a goth girl anyway. But, Lucretia comes from a Midsummer Night's Dream. I think, because I think Lucretia was some British pagan fairy deity, maybe.
Right.
You'll have to look it up. Who knows? All right.
Now,
what? What do you got?
I wrote down some notes.
Great.
Some things to cover here.
Dang.
While we were talking, because I didn't want to lose my thought train.
Good.
Manifesto. What was the last question that you asked from Morgan? Because that's what I want to address.
Is there anything we can do to make it hurt less?
That's not what I thought it was. I thought it was around like setting boundaries and whatnot as well. Well, specifically around the setting boundaries part, I want to talk about that because you brought up an example from your own life, right? What you said in the lead up to saying I'm going to have to punch you through a wall. What you said in the lead up to that,
like that
is exactly what we'd want to touch on. because I just wrote down certainty, significance, connection. Acknowledging those things. Whenever we're setting a boundary, we want to give the person certainty, give them significance, give them connection. These are three of their core human needs that if we satisfy those in the communication to them, they're going to be more likely to take on what we have to say. So immediately what you said before was giving that significance. Like, what did you say? Like, say it again. Like, recount.
I wish I could. I don't know.
No, I don't remember either.
You don't have to say exactly what you said. Like, just that you
I
had the
mean,
conversation.
yeah, I
and
mean,
you said,
just don't, gender me correctly or I'll pull a knife from its socket, I think I
what
said.
did you
But
say before that?
I wish I could remember. I was really just sort of flowing. It was an improv kind of moment. I said yes and
Okay, well, I
I'm
don't remember
sorry.
exactly what you said, but let's say I will just say a scenario. I'm going up to my like family member and I'm saying, "Hey, I know that you really care about me. I know that you love me."
Right. I remember. I
Mhm.
remember. Right, because it was something that Lino had said, which is, listen, I understand it's difficult for you having known me for the amount of
Yeah,
time you did. Thank you. You triggered that memory. There you go.
yeah, yeah. So touching on that, you can give them connection and significance that way and be like, "You're really important to me. I really love having you in my life. And I want to continue to have you in my life. And I want to let you know that I am not going anywhere. Like, I really value our connection. And I know that you're really trying. I know that it's important to you. Like, kindness is an important thing to you, whatever is important to them. Acknowledge their values, acknowledge what they like is important to them in their life, and then segue from that into the boundary and be like, for myself, I know that you value kindness a lot. I really value kindness as well. And to be kind to myself, I need to protect myself from things that make me feel upset. And again, I know you're really trying hard, but the misgendering, when you say, sir, or when you say he, him pronouns, it really upsets me. And I need to distance myself from that and kind of really touching on those points as many times as you can with the boundary. It's like compassionate boundary setting. Like, I need to do this for myself at the moment. Like, I'm going to be spending a little bit less time. I'm not going anywhere. I just want to have a little bit more space. And if there's anything that I can do to help you to remember it more, please let me know. Like, adding some bits like that. Couple other points though, like Lino, you covered a lot around the self-care, looking after yourself, processing, accepting yourself, all of that. Super, super freaking important. The other thing that I would suggest would help with that, I often get people to do an FU rant and a thank you rant to help process those feelings. So sometimes if we really get in our feelings about it and we're really like angry and frustrated, we're like, why can't they? It's been 2 years. Like, why are they still misgendering me? Blah, blah, blah. Sometimes doing an FU route, which is just letting it all out. Sometimes I'll suggest like go into your car, play like an angry song or, something that embodies that feeling that you have and let it out. Go, F
Yeah,
you
you can go buy
for
a damn it doll. Have you heard of damn it dolls?
no, what
No,
is that?
Well, I know Betty White. You remember, Betty White, right?
of
Yeah, yeah.
course.
Well, back in the day, I think she was promoting it, and I got my mom one when my parents got divorced. Anyways, it's like a rag doll, and it's literally called a damn it doll. You can order them online, and you grab it by its feet, and you're like, fucking, and you hit walls and stuff with it, and you're like, damn it, fucking, and my mom loves it. I mean, she loves her damn it doll, I mean, everyone needs a damn it doll. Damn, I need a damn it doll now. Yeah, get your damn it doll.
Get your damn it doll today.
Yeah.
Only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. Offer not good in Utah, Wyoming, or Montana. I'm looking at it right here.
Oh, you're looking at the
dammit.com. What?
Yeah, dammit.com. Yeah. And they're all different colors, different fabric, and they're just
Yes.
like ragdoll. They're ragdoll, and you hit shit with it.
And it has sexy yarn hair.
Yes.
That is important. Plus, you can unlock 10% off.
I need one now. Everyone needs a damn it doll.
The basis of that is basically what I'm trying to say, though, is those feelings when they're there, there's a chemical reaction happening inside of your body, and to process those chemicals,
I mean, it's
sometimes the
important.
best way to do that is to lean into that feeling a little bit, not in
Sure.
a destructive way. You're not sharing it with them. You're not going, fuck you, like, to their face. Of course not. It's for you to process the feelings, nothing else. Like, but then switching from the F you rant to a thank you rant, and switching to thank you for being there for me throughout my whole life. Thank you for doing blah, blah, blah. Thank you for always trying to cheer me up if I feel upset. Thank you. Like, balancing out that energy. So honoring the feeling that you have, honoring the frustration, honoring the anger if it's there, and processing it by actually allowing yourself to feel it, because sometimes the best way to process our feelings is to allow ourselves to feel it, not push it down. It's kind of like pushing a beach ball under the water. At some point, it's going to bounce up and break your nose. Like, you've got to actually process that feeling.
That's an excellent point. Yeah, absolutely. Excellent
So
point.
don't turn away from that, but also remember the other side as well. That's where the thank you rant comes in. Remember the flip side, because it's not all negative. Sometimes it can feel that way, but if you really look at it, if it's someone that you care about, it's probably not all negative. There's going to be some positive things as part of that. And you need to weigh up what is most important to you in that moment, or for your mental health. What is most important for you? I've cut off family members completely in the past. Part of it was because, well, they would gender me correctly. They would be like, oh, fine. I'm like, yep, they'll use my name, they'll use my pronouns. And then if we have an argument, they start misgendering me. In the heat of the argument, they'll, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And then even shame me and go, oh, well, I've used your name and your pronouns and I've accepted you, and now you're telling me to not treat you like shit. And so they'd switch around and start misgendering. That to me is a massive boundary no. That's like, we don't do that.
Yeah.
I think that's
There's a whole bunch of other things like that came across with that, but the overall, I was like, for my mental health, I need to cut you off. I need to put that really harsh boundary in place, and sometimes we need to do that. Sometimes that's the right thing to do for you, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes leaving a little bit of time, acknowledging all the good, and giving them compassion and time is the right thing to do, but it really depends.
Yeah, every situation is different. And that's the challenging part because it's such a loaded question, but it's really individualistic on that.
Absolutely.
It is, and I mean, I thought what you said was beautiful, Jasmine, and I thought, how wonderful it would be if we could all live in worlds where we actually do want to thank everybody we're in contact with. But I don't think that's usually the case. I mean, I'm thinking of, ultimately you said you needed to cut people off, and I kind of went, well, what was the last 5 minutes where you said then you need to find why these people are good in your life and you want to affirm that to them. I think they're gonna. What's that?
I've done that too.
All right, because I mean,
my uncle, for example, he has reached out to me with so much toxicity, like called me a Nazi, called me like ridiculous stuff.
Wow, that's
misgendering, using my mum, like my mum's passed away years ago, saying she would be so disappointed in you. Like every barb that he could find, he would throw at me.
Sure.
very toxic, very, very toxic. And I would come back and say, I love you. Thank you for being there for me so much. Thank you for going through what you did, because my uncle's gay. Thank you for going through what you did that helped other family members accept me quicker than they would have. I really appreciate you and everything that you've done for me. And I have to lovingly let you go because I'm not willing to subject myself to this kind of stuff.
I don't think you owed him even the what came before.
Of course, I didn't owe him that, but
Let me
that's what's
rephrase that. I don't
important.
think you should have given him any of that because you validated what he said. You validated him as a person, and what he did was try to diminish you as a person. And this is my own personal opinion. I did agree with me or don't. You know, I'm thinking in this day and age, with the level of hate that's floating around out there, there's a certain level where it's worthwhile saying, okay, I'm going to try with you, and then there's a certain level where it's better just to go, you know what, not going to try with you. I'm hitting D every time I see an email come in from you. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to take your calls. I'm not going to read your texts. Thank you, but no.
What does it feel like to you? I think the most important aspect there is, does it feel like acceptance? Does it feel like calm? Does it feel like peace? Or does it feel like denial and feel like you're pushing it down or ignoring it or turning away from it?
Well,
Because those are two very different things.
they are the thing that this is a really difficult question because we're not talking about like if you had two parents who were Republican and you said, "Oh, I'm going to go vote Democrat," and they went, "Wait, what?" and they get pretty pissed off. Like that's something, and not easy. I mean, like it would lead to uncomfortable silences at dinner and things like that. When somebody negates your identity entirely, there really is no compromise. You can't come to okay, you can negate so much of my identity, but I need to assert this much of my identity. No. You cannot have a relationship with somebody who doesn't accept your identity, who doesn't believe that your identity is valid. Does that make sense? I mean,
Yeah.
I think there are different examples. If you have somebody who's just not doing a good job of gendering you properly, yes, keep working on them. If you have somebody who goes, well, I just can't get next to this transgenderism thing, and besides, you look like a fool when you wear a dress, you just go, okay, you can't get next to this transgenderism thing. That's fine. I'm going to let you go.
Yeah.
Maybe I just reach it more quickly than you do. I don't know, Jasmine, but
It depends. Like the harshness of the boundary depends on what kind of relationship you've had with the person. It depends on your safety level as well. Like I've put a boundary in place with someone quite recently where I've just blocked everything that could come through.
sure.
And it's literally at a point where I'm about to send a cease and desist letter if it doesn't stop.
Okay. I mean, you get what
Like,
I'm saying.
yeah, absolutely. I think it really depends. And the main thing that I would always come back to with this is, don't allow somebody else to cause you to behave in a way that you're not proud of.
I think you should be very proud of being able to set a boundary because I've
Yeah,
always sucked at
absolutely.
that. So,
But yeah, just depends on how it feels to you. If you set a boundary and it's out of frustration, it's out of like resentment and all of that, then the last thing that I would want is for that person to be holding on to those feelings and to be triggered every time they think about this person, or when this person tries to get back into their life, they're triggered by it. For me, it's really important to have a feeling of acceptance with it. And for that, I need to acknowledge all the good as well. If I'm going to blame them for all of the negative things and all the bad things that they're doing, I'm going to blame them for the good things as well. I'm going to thank them and let them go while keeping a really harsh boundary. It's literally a thank you, I love you, and fuck you, I never want to see you again. They coexist at the same time.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
it feels like acceptance.
Yeah, they coexist for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I don't think I don't think that we're saying necessarily different things. I
No.
originally what I heard from both of you, for what it's worth, is well, we should allow this to happen. I mean, and I realize neither of you said that. Okay. Some of that message is that well, we should be compassionate to these people, we should give them the benefit of the doubt, we should tell them that we love them. And I kind of go, you know what, if somebody is hurting you, get them out of your life. Don't
To a
stand for
certain
that.
point.
What do you mean?
To a certain point. Well, the person that
If somebody is jerky enough, if somebody is jerky enough to hurt you, you owe them nothing more.
No,
Nothing more.
you do not.
Okay,
owe them
I'm done.
access.
Bye.
Yeah. And I think for people, I'm going to call myself and Lino out here because I think potentially, no, I'll call myself out because I don't know
Okay.
100% with Lino, but I know that you've got a similar mindset to me, so it could be a thing for you. But for me, I tend to put up with things longer than I should. And I do give compassion and kindness more than I should.
Same.
There's a point where I should draw a line sooner, and oftentimes I don't.
Yeah.
That is something that I need to reconcile with myself because sometimes, like, that's the kind of person I want to be. I want to be the person that gives the benefit of the doubt. I want to be the person that gives kindness and compassion. Like, literally, what does it freaking say up here? Inspiring hope, empowering, and showing kindness with everything I do. That is such a core part of my identity, but it can put me in shitty situations sometimes. Because if
Right.
I lean into that too much, then other people, if they have malicious intent, can take, what's the word? Take advantage of that.
Yes. Yes.
But that I want to say very clearly, just because that's the case does not mean I let people walk all over me. And it doesn't mean that I don't have boundaries, but it means that I'll give people a chance. I'll be like, you have the opportunity to step up here and to treat me with respect. This is exactly what I did with my uncle. I said, I'll give you like kindness and compassion. I understand that you're hurting. I understand that you're upset and you're, fighting back and throwing the stuff at me. I understand that. I'm going to give you a couple days to cool down and we can chat. And if you continue treating me that way, I'm going to block you. But if we can have an adult conversation and one that has respect and kindness with it, then I'll happily have the conversation with you. 2 days go by, comes back, same stuff. Absolutely same stuff. I go, okay. What I'm recognizing is that you're not in the space to be able to have this kind of conversation with me. So I'm going to block you, as I said the other day. And I hope that we can touch base again in a few years' time and it be respectful. So that very harsh boundary can be there in a kind way, I feel.
Absolutely.
Unless there's an immediate threat to your safety, or there's like, that's a totally different thing. Cut off, gone.
Oh yeah.
That's very different.
Yeah, I guess I will say, because we're now an hour 20 in. I will say that I think you don't owe kindness to somebody who has rescinded it from you. That's my statement. I mean, I am the same, and Lino, I think you've mentioned the same, that I think it's a common transgender trait that we want to make other people believe that we believe what they believe. I mean, it's very, we're almost all of us are people pleaser type people. Jeez. Because we have to be. We have to mask. Otherwise we get called wrong. And in some cases this misgendering is furthering the case that we are wrong, not our actions, that we as people. And that's, I don't think that's cool. And I think that giving people the benefit of the doubt is important. Absolutely. Because I give people ridiculous numbers of chances. And it's only actually been since I've transitioned that I've had, I don't know the word I want to call it. I think I just say the skill to set those boundaries and say, I'm not safe in this situation, I'm going to leave. And I tell you, I'm very proud of that. I can't even believe that I have the capability to do that, because 52 years I didn't. Well, probably closer to 54. It's only been recent. And I, so I think I'll just leave it at that. But, one way I would say, Morgan, because maybe we can do a quick round here. One way, Morgan, I would say, to make it hurt less, you tell those people they're hurting you. What do you think, Lino? I'm gonna get more energy, compassion, and kindness, like Jasmine. But
I think that's fine. I think it's absolutely
no, I
great if
know
somebody feels that they're able to do that. Absolutely.
that's not really what you feel about what I've said, though.
I mean, the last thing you said, yeah. I mean, what you're saying is hurting me. I think that's great.
That's really
That's speaking up
important
for
to say.
yourself. Yeah, sticking up for yourself.
Yeah. But you don't have to stick up for yourself in proportion to what's going on. Like someone says, "Oh, you look horrible today," and you stab them. No. Ridiculous.
Agreed. But that's not what I'm advocating. I mean,
No. Like protecting yourself is really important. If
Yeah.
someone is, legislating rights away or is
That's
literally
a big thing.
physically attacking you,
Yeah.
you're not going to be like, "Oh, I wish you kindness," while you're getting punched in the face. Like,
Right.
you've got to protect yourself, of course. But yeah, for me, my parting words is really just focusing on being the kind of person who you want to be and not letting other people cause you to behave in a way that you're not proud of. That's my parting words.
I think that's
Okay.
great.
Thank you.
Do you have anything you want to sum up with, Lino?
No, I think this is great. Thank you.
All right.
Do you want to bat out a poem? We haven't
I
done a
don't
poem
have.
in a
I
while.
don't. I know it's been a while. I don't have one.
know.
I don't have one
Damn.
right now. I apologize.
Because I wish you'd knocked one out about safety.
I could have. Yeah.
Well, next time. Who knows? But
Sure. Next time.
next time. So what are we going to talk about next time?
Ooh.
What does anybody want to hear?
Yeah.
I won't be here next weekend. It's over here. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm gonna be with my mother
Right.
on Monday.
Okay.
I'll be missing Monday.
Okay. Do you want to stream next week, Jasmine, or no?
Yeah. Let me.
Okay. I could do it, but we'll
Yeah.
think about
Yeah,
it.
that'd be good.
We'll think about it.
Well, let's chat after about some ideas.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I love this damn it doll. I may stick a link to this.
Yeah.
In
Put the link
the-
in there. I
in
think
the
that'd be
show notes.
fantastic.
It's really funny.
It is.
Some of these
Feeling
are hilarious.
frustrated, feeling angry. Well, you need a damn it doll.
Yeah.
Your companion to punch in the face, to swear at, and to feel better about yourself. Damn it, doll. Get yours
You
today.
grab her by her feet and you hit shit, hit the wall with it. Yeah.
I named mine Mom. Damn it, Mom.
Oh, dang.
I named mine Billy after the bully at school. Fuck you, Billy.
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
I don't
There's
know.
so many users.
Yes, right.
Oh my gosh.
Then you get one guy who's like, you get somebody else who's like, I named mine Ed after my erectile dysfunction. God damn it. Right?
Oh gosh. That's silly.
This is one thing I can continue to get up.
Oh, geez. Sponsored by
everybody.
Dammit Doll. I wish.
I know, that's what we need to do. We need to reach out to them now. Send us the purple sexy yarn hair. Damn it, dolls.
Oh. You can have one in the background. A purple haired Dammit Doll in your background.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, put it in your background.
Right. Right, just on the shelf
Hey,
there.
damn it, doll, right there.
Something comes up, I just go, ugh, that's it.
Damn it. Yeah.
Off screen, you could just hear this.
Yeah, right.
Thunk, 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 thunk.
They look different than expected.
I'm fine now. What?
They look different than expected.
Are we still recording?
The Damn It Dolls? We are, yeah. They look different, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, this one kind of looks like Beetlejuice.
Sure.
Very Beetlejuice.
There's a lot of good. Oh my gosh, they do have a purple-haired one. It's green,
Wow.
but I'll dress it in something else.
How big are they, I wonder?
They're maybe
they
12 inches.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like
Because they look
20
like
20 to
they're
30 centimeters, if you want.
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Wow.
Let's go ahead. I just wanted to end on a lighter note because we were kind of like yeah. So I wanted a good laugh. In
Great.
particular, my Damn It doll, Ed.
Yes.
There is some good laughs on this. It's like, send us your damn it moment. Can't afford a car. Damn it. Got COVID. Damn it. Drop
Well,
my
I need to get on that
Chipotle bowl.
website.
Damn it.
Yes. It's
Paris.
funny.
Damn it. Damn it.
I
I
like
need to
it.
get myself one. It's time that I have one.
Yes.
Mom
I'm
has
telling
one. I got her one.
If we can, I know, I was hoping, can you design it yourself? That's really the
That'd
thing.
be great to design your own damn
Yeah.
doll.
Kind of cool.
If I could, I would.
Anyway, we
Send
can
them one.
talk and talk. But I think that is it for us today.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it. If you have requests for future topics, don't forget, throw them in the notes. We'll call you out like
Put
we
it
called
in
out
the-
Morgan.
Put it in the comments or else we'll damn you, doll.
You sent me an email. Should have been in the comments.
If you comment something nice, we'll shout you out. If you comment something horrible, then we'll beat our damn it dolls while reading it.
Wait, we should just all have damn it dolls by next episode.
We'll be
Really.
renaming our Damn It dolls. Yeah.
We'll have
Yes,
our own doll
we should totally
sitting
do
on
that.
a shelf right here, or on my shoulder. Yeah.
And then we'll have a damn it clan with a
Yes.
little less fear
I love that. Damn
and
it.
much more love for your authentic self.
Yes. I think it would be perfect.
I just tied together all of our things
Right.
if you didn't notice.
Right.
Anyway.
No, it was pretty amazing. All right.
Thank you.
Anyway, love you both.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jasmine.
you.
Thanks, Lino.
Thank you. Love you both. Love you all. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. I know we had Morgan
Bye.
and Bobby. Oh, that's all I had. Morgan and Bobby who talked. So thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bobby. Bye.